Hi everyone, Alicia Dianne here, and I want to talk today all about Jaydi's story. I know I really want to get into this series, why I made it, some of my behind the scenes look. So let's go ahead and get started. So let me share my screen. This is going to be really fun. I've never done this in this way, so I think it's going to be very cool. So I'm going to talk about five of the big things about Jaydi's story. And the first one that you should know is this actually, I wrote it as a script and it's written as a 3 hour film. So if you can see, I'm just going to share just a little bit. So starting in, it goes in chapters, 184 pages of script, guys. This is a lot of, this is a lot. How long did it take me? It took me about uh, 3 months to write the first draft, and I'm still editing as we go. I'm still I've written 5 drafts. I'm on the fifth one now, and I notice little things that I like to change, so I just will put things in, but the core of the story stays the same. So the first thing that you should know is that it's written as a screenplay, and it's 184 pages. I used about 20 pages for each graphic novel. And the first one is out, and the second one is being released as we speak. The second thing that you should know is that it's a fantasy drama. It's a fantasy drama, and it's a very cool. Um, I just love like all of the visual development art. I explored so many different things as I was going through it. Maybe I can share with you guys a little bit of behind the scenes of some of my drawing. Let's see if I do my screen share. Let me see the video. Let's do some time lapse. I know I started a lot of them like in the same, s- with the same. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Because what I did many times is I would use like the same file, and then I go ahead and just redo it and add things to it. So as you can see, I started this one somewhere around here, editing, moving things around, cleaning up drawings, and just totally switching things up. And I think that's 9 minutes. So I can even see like how long did I spend on this particular one. Let's see. If I go to my canvas and I look at my canvas information and I see my statistics, 14 hours. I'm sure they'll all say like different things. So let's go ahead and look into um, my viz step for JD Story. So I actually made a map of a location. It's actually based on a town that is in Kenya, in southeastern Kenya. The actual town is called Kwale, but I made up this my own town because I wanted to be able to have more creative freedom and kind of tell the story that I wanted to tell. But of course, I based it on a real location and just included my own insights and things like that. But I did make my own map. I wonder if I can even show you guys the progress of making the map too. You see, that's the actual town Kwale. And you can see, and I looked up actual locations and decided where I would put the bush, which is like this overgrown area with like trees and bushes and things like that. So you can see where I started and just kind of kept going. I'll try and fast forward this part so you won't have to see the entire thing. So I based it off of a real location and I just really changed a lot of things. But housing, so I have all of the locations where I have private housing, farmland, and this is actually in the middle where you see 44 is the market space. And I numbered everything because I wanted to know how many houses there would be, how many stores there would be in the marketplace, and I eventually named all of them. I had to change them around a little bit to go with the story. But yeah, that was the whole process. And the reason why I created a map, it was because it was really important for me that I knew where the characters were at any specific location, that I would be able to keep a consistent background. So if they're going to, let's say, like fruit vendor, then I would know what would be the corresponding stores next to it, how far away the square would be, and the schools and all of that sort of thing, so that it wouldn't be confusing for me. I know I keep getting my hand in the way. So that is just the first point. The second point is that it's a fantasy drama. So that's the genre that it is. It's a fantasy genre. So I mean, there's all sorts of different things that are explored, different crazy types of characters, and have some new characters that are actually introduced in this version. So you're going to see some new characters in Jaydi's story number two, Prudence, that you didn't see in number one. And one of them is this amazing character, Uzuri. See if I can show you this progress. She's like my favorite character. She's so fun. She's very interesting to look at. But I had a lot of fun making her and kind of building this hoarding, like, mess that she carries on her back every single day. Another character that you get to meet for the first time is Jabu, and he is very fun. And you don't really get to see too much of him, but you are introduced to him in this book. And I got some inspiration from different artworks, from actual people. I changed his design a few times and just kept on exploring face types until I found a face that I felt happy with. And you can see I did so many variations of his face before I finally decided on one. I'll move this around so you can see. And I was like, okay, this is the guy that I like. And he was very fun to create. So, fantasy genre, new characters, that are being introduced. It's a very fun thing. So, topics explored. This is a good one. And I really think it's important when you're making a graphic novel or any extended type of a series that you really sort of keep a journal or log about what's about your story, about details, about the specific things that you want to explore. So it was really important to me to get an idea, a good solid idea of the topics I was going to be exploring throughout the story. So you can see, I have this whole note in Apple, and I have so much information here. Like this goes on. I've been taking notes for years. I have all my the changes that I want to make. I have different notes about different things. I have clippings from books. I have just so much in here. I have things about the characters. But really it's important to have that pitch, or like a elevator pitch, a log line, whatever. You're gonna have that. And for me, I keep that right up at the top, so I'm just constantly reminded. Jaydi's story is a graphic novel that takes you into the heart of East Africa, where a young girl must fight for her brother and herself. On the surface, it's an adventure filled with danger and mystery, but at its heart, it's about resilience, family, and reclaiming stories that have been hidden or erased. It's a kind of book that stays with you because it's both thrilling and deeply meaningful. And so that reminds me of, why I made the book, how to share this information with other people. If you need help, you can always look up how to write an elevator pitch or get ideas. You can even brainstorm in a program like ChatGPT to get ideas, but you need to know like what the core of your message is first, of course, before you find ways to kind of break it down into a couple of sentences that's easy to share with other people. Topics explored are family trauma, faith versus colonialism, imperialism, power and hate. That's definitely like part of the story, and how those two things lead to corruption. I think it's very relevant for the types of things that we experience in life and experience in politics. It's not a political book, but it does talk about how politics affects our everyday life. That's one of the things that JD is dealing with. But it's really at its core, it's about family. And it's about family, faith, and just having your own personal voice. you know. So I have my big why here. I created Jaydi's story in order to share a faith journey that was exciting and not unlike my own, one that would help others think through the exploration of the series and discover for themselves what their beliefs truly are. Simultaneously, I wanted to share a journey that touches on the complexities of religion and how it relates to African history and colonization. And to do it in a way that correlates with African storytelling, I incorporate fairy tales and folklore, and I love that in fables. So let's see. My hope for this project is that it reaches people from many walks of life and that they can experience adventure, culture, and that it opens up another avenue for women of color to tell their own creative stories. So, like I said, I keep so much information in these notes, and this is a great way um, to share for yourself the types of themes, ideas that you come up with, people, casts, all of that. You want to keep that in one place. All right. Google Earth has been so helpful to me. You have no idea. In Google Earth, you can literally go anywhere. It's the best resource for me since I started this project. You click this little guy over here, the little man in the corner. It'll show you where you can go um, in person. So you can get that street view. So you can actually go to a location if you're making a book about a specific location, you can actually use Google Maps and go there for yourself without the air travel. I also recommend reading books about the location. Multiple books, watching documentaries has been super helpful for me throughout this whole process. It's been a huge part of my process for creating this series. And not just when I started in the writing process, but for the visuals, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, just like you will never get this kind of stuff if you're like, even from a book, you won't get like all of these in-depth things and be able to go through it in this manner. So let's see. You can come out. Let me see. I'll go back. So that street view is so important. I use this so much. And you can go all over and you can see the plants. You can see, oftentimes I'll see like goats hanging around and like cats hanging around. And that's the cool thing because it gives you that feel. It lets you know like how much vegetation is around and the type of vegetation. You can just see it for yourself. So it takes out so much of the guesswork. It's so cool to have this as like a resource. So definitely use Google Earth. It even gives you like the coordinates of the places that you look up. So I think that's a really cool thing. I think I'm going to be using this again for like some painting stuff. Some of these even types of trees, like if you're interested in having like really cool detail, like you can like take a snapshot and then like look up what type of plant. Looks like there's like mangoes or coconuts on here. Like that's super cool when you get to see that. So definitely use Google Earth as a resource. You can get it literally all over the place. How cool is that? How cool is it that you can see wherever you want? That's so cool. Anyway, my next thing. All right, so we already looked over like how long it is. So it's like a written as a 3-hour screenplay. It's a fantasy drama. That's part two. That's my second point, and it's coming of age. So it's a fantasy drama slash coming of age story. The topics I explore, that's number three. Family trauma, faith, and colonization, and how those things impact the character and us. And book one. So let me go back into book one. If you're interested in book one, let me see where I am in this. I'm gonna go here. I go to my sketchbooks. You're actually getting behind the scenes of my sketchbooks. I have so many folders. It's crazy, I know. But everything is where I can find it, and that is the important part. Let's see. Da 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 da. Pages. Here we go. So let's go into watercolors. I believe this is book one. Yes. So let's see. Really, book one is the introduction. So, book one, you're really getting introduced to JD's world. You're getting introduced to the location. You're getting introduced to the main characters and the main antagonists. That's really important stuff. You want to be able to know why JD got to where she is, the influence of these missionaries who came in, and what they're doing in this town. And, they're good, meaningful folks, but, not everybody likes them. Such as this guy. He's not a fan. He doesn't like them being around. He has his own personal grudges, and we'll talk about that in future books. And you will find out, I think you'll find out a good bit of it in books three and four, why he has his angst against the missionaries. Okay, but book one, you're really going to be introduced to JD, her world, and the unfortunate things that happen therein. All right, and book two. Book two is a little bit more about, okay, what is JD's life like now? After a lot of the big drama has happened, we're getting introduced to these main characters. We're kind of seeing her in her everyday life. We're seeing her meeting these new characters that are coming in. And we're actually seeing, I'm going to share with you for the first time that I have shared this. Da, 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 da. JD actually meeting for the first time her first crush. So that's like an interesting part of the story too, which is going to lead into a couple of other misfortunes or not that might happen between JD and her friend. So this is going to be really cool. But I think that you're going to be pretty pleasantly surprised with book two because there's a lot of surprises in it, and I'm excited to share it. I worked really hard on it, and I think it's really an entertaining and a fun book, but also like, well, drama for days. So that's a little bit about JD's story. Let's see. Both we covered five really cool topics about JD's story. Um, First is that it was written as a feature. Second, it's a fantasy drama and it's a coming of age. The topics, which were family trauma, faith, colonialism, and corruption. And then we also talked about what book one was about, the introduction, and kind of like how the drama starts. And then part two, the drama continues. We're meeting new characters, and JD may have a love interest. So I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes tour. Please remember that my Kickstarter for creative writing for visual artists, Sketch to Story, is beginning on July 1st. And JD Story 1 and 2 are in those reward tiers. So you can be learning to write and also seeing my writing at the same time. So I hope this is helpful for you. And I will see you very soon. Bye bye.